Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, I just want everybody to know that worked all night last night after going to Blackberry Smoke. But this is truth. While I'm at the concert, I'm responding to texts and emails during the entire time at every possible break and when my wife wasn't looking. But ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, it's coming together. The core lawsuit. I mean, just imagine we had 6,000 emails, all the stuff that we have to incorporate into this lawsuit, everything. It's just a hell of an effort, but I'm going to work all weekend with the team, and we'll be ready to fire cannons on Monday morning. I want everybody to know that I just want to cover several things that'll make you feel better and happy and everything else. A professor at George Mason University got an injunction, a restraining order, relative to the vax mandate based upon natural immunity. So I just want you to know that what we're going to be asking for the courts isn't some crazy thing. In addition, Judge Bertelsmann in the Eastern District of Kentucky yesterday issued a restraining order against the diocese, or excuse me, Governor Beshear, that affected the diocesan schools, and the bishop reversed course. That had to do with masks. And now all the diocesan kids can wear a mask or not wear a mask. It maybe doesn't apply to public schools, so that battle, but Judge Bertelsmann mentioned the word tyranny in his order. I mention these things because they're not the same as what we're doing and having to do, and the issues are a little different. But the point is that there are judges out there that take a look at this thing and get it that what's going on in this country is pretty crazy. House Bill 248, I forgot to bring this up and mention it in more detail, but I was asked to. Emergency session has been called this summer to hear the much-needed House Bill 248. Please join us with news of special House session on Tuesday, August 24th, for the purpose of hearing testimony and amendments. So August 24th, do anything and everything you can to support House Bill 248 in Ohio, which is to make mandatory mandates relative to the vaccine not allowed. I want to stress this. Christ Hospital, I'm only going to stress two protests today. Sorry, I'll get them all in some other time. Christ Hospital today from 5 to 7, and I plan on being there. Children's, and I apologize for this. I've given two different times. Sorry. I put it on Facebook. Children's protest is Sunday from 2 to 4 out front of the main hospital. Christ, 5 to 7 today. Children's, 2 to 4 on Sunday. I'm going to be at that one as well. By the way, you're welcome for all the raises and bonuses and everything they're throwing at you. And I can't stress this enough. It proves how strapped they are. Remember the core thing that I want all of you to do. If you stick together, they're not going to fire you. Their whole hospitals would collapse with the labor problem. I know somebody at Christ Hospital that gave a 2-week notice. They asked for a 30-day notice, and because they can't replace them in 2 weeks, they said, will you do 30-day notice? And they said yes. And the hospitals have screwed up because a lot of people have had enough of it, and they're going to leave anyway. I mean, Joe Biden and these hospitals are wrecking healthcare, and it's not on anybody besides themselves. Let me see, what else? On Monday, I'm going to do a press conference at 11 a.m. where we will explain the filings that ought to all be filed by 11 o'clock that morning. And remember, on Monday, we're filing against all the big hospitals in the tri-state to begin the rollout, and then it'll go on through the rest of the week where we'll get to everybody else. I also want to stress this to you. Filing these lawsuits and requesting injunctive relief will mess up their plans. These deadlines like September 1st and so forth and so on. What else I want to talk about? I'm going to go through my little list of things that I pulled out that I thought were important. I want to read this email from a tri-state healthcare worker. I want you to know one more thing. For me, this issue with the COVID jab mandate isn't just about the jab. You have expressed several times in your videos how evil these corporations are, and you are absolutely correct. Even if the mandate on us is lifted, I don't want to work in this environment any longer. I'm not talking about the medical environment. I'm talking about the corporate America environment. The medical field is no longer about providing the best care for our patients. It is now about profit and money for the execs and these overlord CEOs who sit in their fancy office like to put rules in place for us frontline employees, without even asking our opinions as to how their decisions will impact our job or the service to our patients. This is something that's near and dear to the hearts of myself and Dr. Charles Melman, my good friend at Children's Hospital. And that's the world that we're in. And let me just tell you something else about it, these folks that live in the corporate suites. It is all about the freaking money. And you know, these are all nonprofits. Nonprofits. No shareholders to answer to. Only community board of trustee members who let those people in those C-suites run their slush funds. Run their slush funds. Cincinnati Children's just posted today on their internal website that they are now offering $2,500 referral bonus to employees for new bonuses. See the crack in their armor? It's every hospital for themselves to find their recruits. Incredible. What else do I have here? I work at Bethesda North, and I read their Tri-Health values. In my humble opinion, it certainly seems to me that out of the 6 values they've posted in my department, 4 of those values do not seem to apply to those individuals who do not wish to get vaccinated. These values were found in the traditions of the Sisters of Charity and Good Sam Hospital and the German Methodist deaconesses who founded Bethesda. Mercy Fairfield. Our president came around Tuesday, taking upon themselves to make signs stating that we have to have the first dose vaccine by October. These signs were apparently not sanctioned by the facility. I have dealt with extremely hostile work conditions since the mandate was passed down. I've been called a murderer by fellow nurses on my unit. I've been told I was ignorant and stupid, and have had a very uncomfortable conversation with my manager who felt it was acceptable to demand to know why I was anti-vax. I was informed by HR today to reach out again to my manager to find a resolution. By the way, folks, last night I went to this Blackberry Smoke concert at the Pavilion. Nobody was place was packed. Nobody was masked. Nobody asking for vaccinations. And these bands were so happy to perform. So patriotic, Americana, Southern rock freaking music. Everybody having a good time. And the thought occurred to me that in America, we now have 2 groups of people. People who love our values and our rights and are happy. And those people that hate this country and hate us for being freaking happy. Do you know all of this bullshit? You can take the vaccines, the masks, the mandates, the lockdowns, these out of control president, these out of control governors, and you can break it all down to one thing: the attack upon our freedom. Let me see. This is Christ Hospital. This is yesterday. 6 patients diagnosed with COVID. 4 had been vaccinated. Unbelievable. Oh, this is a great one. I got to use this one. Fort Thomas. St. E's used Fort Thomas as their COVID place. at the beginning. Why in the hell would you send the sickest patients who had the most risk of passing away to their hospital with the least amount of resources? One thing, money. They wanted to protect the cash cow elective surgery machine at Edgewood in Florence. I'm an experienced ICU clinician and healthcare executive and currently a consultant. Let's get me on your team and let freedom and liberty prevail. Isn't that great? So, ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, hang in there, keep feeding me information, and Monday we lower the boom. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great weekend.